Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jay and welcome to the channel and welcome back to Yosemite Emergent Biopark here in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Today we're going to be building several quite large habitats featuring some of the Jurassic tour vehicles. I think this is going to be quite a fun little thing to do for the park. I've always kind of wanted to start working on more tour stuff in Jurassic World Evolution 2, mainly because now we have loads of cool new tour mechanics, like, you know, how we can now chain link stations together. We can also cross them over paths and stuff like that, so I wanted to experiment with that a little bit, and we get the chance to do that today, so that's going to be quite fun. As always, stay tuned for the live play section of the video for me to name the dinosaurs based on all your suggestions. I always love seeing your suggestions in the comments, and it's really quite nice. And yeah, here we're just building a bit of a guest area first, and while we're doing all this, just want to say I hope all of you have had a lovely New Year's. By the time this goes live, it'll probably be like the 4th or the 5th or something like that. Once again, I'm recording this out of order, so no idea when this is going to go live, but yeah, I hope you've had a good new year. I had a pretty chill one myself. Just want to say as well, thank you for all the support on my recent community post. If you didn't see that, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, this is just a bit of personal information, I guess. In the past year, I came out as trans, which has been a bit of a big life change, and it's been a really exciting life change, and one that's been really good for me, and seeing the support in the comments and stuff has been really lovely to see. And on Twitter as well, everyone's been super lovely on there, so thank you very much for that. And if any of you hadn't known already, well, here's the info, I guess. I do prefer being called either she, her, or they, them. Either one is fine, and yeah, you know, nothing else changes. I'm still very much the same Jay, still very much into dinosaurs and animals and all the usual stuff. It's just a little bit more comfortable in myself, basically. With that little random life update out of the way, let's talk a little bit more about what's going on screen. So, we're building the first of the few habitats we're going to be building today. We're actually going to be building 3 of them, like I mentioned earlier. Did I mention that earlier? Who knows? So we've actually finished the first one here with a little viewing tower there. And you may notice I'm doing this before I actually do the tour vehicle, and I thought that was just a bit easier to do. And I think very much it's something that, like, if you're going to do a tour, it's best to plan out the layout of the habitats first, because the tour vehicle can then kind of skirt around where you want it to avoid. So for example, doing the fences first here allows me to kind of rearrange things and to kind of like figure out how this is going to work, because it's going to cross paths and it's going to do a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be a bit tricky to work around. And it ended up working out pretty well. You'll see here in a second, while I'm building the 3rd habitat, I actually changed the layout of the tour track slightly, because I want to build a 4th one that we're not going to do in this episode, but hopefully we'll get to do in the next one. But I just didn't get around to building that one yet. And yeah, I think it works pretty well. As you may notice, the way I do the tour tracks is to generally just skirt them around the outskirts of the habitat without getting too close to the fence. Occasionally it does get close to the fence, but I try to keep it like at a decent enough distance from the fence that there can be foliage behind it, so you can sort of hide the fence from the tour guests if you want to. Of course, it's not like compulsory, you know, it's still fine to see the fence. It's just kind of like, if you want to, I guess in terms of how the tour ride would work, it'd be a bit more immersive for the guests, because they'll be able to kind of really feel like they're like venturing into this environment with all these animals. Here's just me closing off the staff area with some fences, nothing major there. And as far as the dinosaurs go that we're choosing today, all herbivores today, no carnivores for the tour rides, even though I did consider one, and you'll hear me talk about that in the live play section. But yeah, I just wanted some herbivores that, you know, some which I use quite often, but some which I don't use as much. So we're going to use the Pachyrhinosaurus, which is one of my favorites, as you might know. It's really nice, one of the best new dinosaurs that we got. It's really lovely, and I'm a big fan of the patterns and colorations. The Cretaceous, which is one I really never use, like ever. It's a dinosaur like I really neglect, and you know, I wish the design was a bit different in the game. I wish it was quadrupedal for one, and I wish its face was a little bit less like shrink wrapped, but otherwise I'm fine with it. I think it looked quite nice in the game. In the next habitat over, further down, we actually use the iguanodon, a whole herd of them, and they're fantastic dinosaurs, which I don't use enough, so I'm really glad to include them here. And further in the iguanodon habitat as well, there are some polacanthus. Yes, there's some polacanthus in there. By the way, excuse my voice, having a little bit of a sore throat. Don't worry, it's not the thing you're thinking of, it's just, I think I must have just still be recovering from my allergies. I have some pretty awful allergies, unfortunately. And then in the final habitat at the bottom is actually going to be for a herd of Camarasaurus, because I don't really use sauropods enough. And among the sauropods themselves, I never use Camarasaurus, so I thought, you know what, let's have a Camarasaurus habitat, just a herd of them just enjoying life, and I wanted to give them a big lake so that they can just kind of wallow around a little bit like hippos. Though, you know, they're probably not analogous to hippos at all, but, you know, it's still, I still think it's a cool motif. And then because it felt weird just having Camarasaurus in there, I included a bunch of Dryosaurus. And I tried to do a little bit more foliage work here as well, using more of those, I forgot what they're called, they're really kind of like vivid green plants, the cypress plants I think they're called, I cannot remember. But they look really nice, they're quite like they're a bit too vibrant to fit in with the aesthetic of the taiga environment, but it works in like small amounts like I'm doing here, I think. And lots of rocks as always, just plenty of rocks. But that kind of wraps up the time-lapse portion of today's video. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you all in the live play section. See you in a sec. Okay, so here we are in the game, and as you can see, here are our habitats that we've been building, complete with the tour tracks and everything. Yeah, I quite like how this is turning out. I like the shapes, the way it kind of follows along the mountain but keeps the angularity. I think that looks quite cool. And of course, I'm a big fan of the Jurassic tour. I think honestly that was one of my favorite parts of the previous game, is how the Jurassic tour was implemented, is the way they like what was it about? Well, wow, that was what happened there? My god, my voice. The thing I really liked about it was how they implemented the tour voiceover. So when you're in the vehicle and you pass by a dinosaur and it talks about the description of the dinosaur, I just thought that was super cool, and really just quite a nice implementation of that. But before we actually look into all these habitats, and there is a lot to be done here, we're going to have to go over like all of this. Let's name some dinosaurs. So we've got quite a lot of name suggestions, so thank you very much to everyone who suggested names. First up, William wants a Troodon named Viper, which is a very cool name. And it really makes sense for a Troodon, of course, with their venomous nature and all that. That one's very cool for one named Viper. Still love these skins, really beautiful. The Troodon have had such an improvement. Rob Earth wants a Struthiomimus named Sparkle and a Nodosaur named Groot. That's very cute. I have no idea where my Nodosaurs are. Oh, they're with my Dracorex up here, aren't they? Yeah, there they are. Okay, so they wanted the green Nodosaur named Groot. This one's pretty green. Is the other one more green? The other one's more green. There we go. You are going to be named Groot, which is a nice name. I always love Groot. What else do we have? Struthiomimus named Sparkle. Where on earth are they? I think they were with the Triceratops, weren't they? Which is here, if I'm not mistaken. Hello? Where? My dinosaurs disappear so quickly when I'm looking for them. I swear, they just purposely do that. Where on earth am I shooting? Are they? Is everyone here? There they are. This one's Ellie. This one is... Oh, that one really fits the Sparkle name. I love that blue, like, really bright coloration on them. It's really cool. A Lego fam wants a Kronosaurus named Kronos. Unfortunately, we do have all the Kronosaurus taken already, but you also wanted a sea reptile named Hades, which is pretty cool. So I think that could go to a Plesiosaur. We have one. What's that? Is that the drone? Oh, that's really cool. I think that's the drone, or maybe it's just a fish. Because if you don't know, they use drones in the aquarium to check up on the animals, which is really interesting. And I think it's quite a cool mechanic. This adds a bit of interest, and you can sometimes see the drone when you're like down there, but you can't directly select it. Let's see, what else do we have? Scott suggests that we go... I think we got a few suggestions for the patternless Sunguripterus, so we'll actually see in a second which one works best. So, any sauropod named Baleen. I think, have we named both Mamenchisaurus? Of course, we have new sauropods today, so we'll go and... Tell you what, because we do have new sauropods today, one of you... Oh god, that's a beautiful Mothersaurus. We're going to talk more about them later. You're going to be named... Baleen. If I'm not mistaken, that's a Pokemon, isn't it? I think. And a Minmi Prosciutto, which is very cute, I think. Where on earth are my Minmi? They were right at the start, weren't they? Are they all named? Nope, not all of them. So, god, I still really love the Minmi. Prosciutto. I hope I spelled that correctly. Let's see what else we have. A Nodosaurus named Noodle. Very cute. Thank you, Wibble Wobble. That's a lovely name suggestion. And that's going to be you, Noodle the Nodosaurus. That is definitely a name I would have chosen myself. Who else have we got? Pokemon suggests that we name a Tropiognathus Trophy, which is a very cool suggestion. Let's get on to that one over there. That one looks pretty cool. They are growing on me a bit. I said I was still kind of mixed on their design last time, but the more I look at them, the more they grow on me, really. What else do we have? Kenneth for a Tropiognathus by was it Jack? Sorry, no, it's by Arthur Morgan, which is a really great name because, of course, that's a reference to Kenneth Branagh, who narrated the Walking with Dinosaurs series, which of course featured a Tropiognathus under the guise of Ornithochirus. Jack suggests we name Pterodactylus crappie. There we go. And what else have we got? One of the Maurodactylus Mary, which is a nice name suggestion as well. And I mean, even though it's just a name, it also does have a paleo connection, because Mary Anning is one of the most prolific paleontologists that we know of. She discovered, like, basically most marine reptiles. Well, not most of them, but, you know, a tremendous amount of marine reptiles, and she was just fantastic. We actually once a Nodosaurus named Greta after their dad's dog. Do we have enough Nodosaurus? Unfortunately, we do not. But I will name a Dracorex after your dad's dog, Greta, which is also a really lovely name. And a Maurodactylus named Regis, which is really cool, named after Ed Regis in the novel, of course. let's see. Pterodactyls. Has this one been named? Yes. Let's just do this. Yeah, there we go. God, they're such cool animals, aren't they? Regis. Regis is also really quite impressive name, I think. Very, very cool. Let's see. Anyone else? Yeshvendra, once again, always chipping in with some great name suggestions. Packy Jr. for a Draco Rex, which really works because, of course, they might entirely just be baby Pachycephalosauruses. In fact, I think that is currently the consensus. And Martha for Maurodactylus. I think, do we have one more Maurodactylus? I feel like we do, don't we? I think we have one more. Yep, there we go. So Martha, that works. And then Struthy for Struthiomimus after I believe Bestinslot, another of course one of the most he's like one of my favorite YouTubers. He does great work on you know, Jurassic World and all that. But I believe there's like an inside joke where Struthiomimuses are called Struthy. But yeah, happy to name that after that. And who else do we have? I think that's pretty much it. Jackson, actually, one more. No, I think there's another Jackson. I think we had 2 Jacksons, which is cool. Sorry. Excuse me, I just had a little thing in my throat there. Wanted some Troodon named after the symbiotes in the Marvel Universe, which is really cool. I'll do a few of them because there's quite a lot of names. Raze is pretty cool. Toxin, that's very nice. Let's see. And Venom, of course, yeah, how could I forget? There we go. Those 2. And finally, we had a few different name suggestions for the cursed Sangaripterus, which has no pattern. See if that's the one. Is this the one? Oh god, it's so awful without a pattern, isn't it? Like, it just does not look right. So there were 2 name suggestions, Mistake and Horcrux, but Mistake is just quite funny, so I'm going to use that. Because, gosh, that is a nightmare. But anyways, let's go have a look at some of the habitats we've done so far. So, gosh, apologize for all these icons. None of them have been checked on recently. The Cretaceous, a dinosaur I actually really rarely use. I think it looks fine. It's one of the dinosaurs I rarely use, mainly because it's a bit odd in its posturing. I kind of wish it was quadrupedal almost. Like, I think that's what the consensus is that they would be quadrupedal. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me there. But otherwise, there's some skins which look really beautiful. This one's my favorite with the yellow and the green. I think this is like quite close to the movie variant, and it looks really nice. Like, that one's really beautiful. Some of the others I'm less keen on. Like, I'm not super fond of this blue-green kind of color. Otherwise, yeah, I like a lot of them. This one's cool. It's got like a really vibrant comb. Yeah, that's not really that many thoughts on them. Pachyrhinosaurus, of course, probably one of my favorite ceratopsians in the game right now, with that beautiful crest pattern. I know some people don't like the eye because it looks a bit human, but I think in the right lighting it looks fantastic. And with the right skin as well. If you're using a lighter colored skin, it works a bit better. If you use a darker colored skin, I think the white stands out more and it's a bit more like uncanny. But otherwise, I really like the Pachyrhinosaurus. It's a beautiful dinosaur, love the patterning. And we've just got quite a few of them here with 2 different base skins, but with the same pattern. And they look fantastic. And I really like the habitat they've got here with this nice little lake. I think it's just the 2 species in here, so we'll move on. Here, of course, we have the crossover point. I love this. It's just, I love that they can do this now, and it's just a really cool effect, I think. And then we got 2 viewing platforms as well to have a look at the dinosaurs. And if we come here, this is a habitat I really enjoy. It's meant to represent Cretaceous England to some extent. And we have the iguanodons, which are, I use them like not often enough. Like, they are really brilliantly designed dinosaurs, and I need to use them more. Like, with this skin especially, like, wow, that is stunning. I think that is a beautiful dinosaur. I love the on the face as well, where the patterning almost looks like it's kind of washed out. Really cool, like a reverse zebra kind of thing. Really fantastic stuff here. This is just a brilliant skin, and I love having this herd of iguanodon in here. just doing their thing and enjoying themselves. One thing I do miss, which is a bit of a shame, is that when we did have plant feeders for the dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution 1, the Iguanodon used to actually go up to them and use its like, you know how it's got this really unique like fingers to actually pluck the leaves and eat it that way. So that was really cool, and I do kind of miss that. I don't know if they do it now because I turned off like dinosaur hunger so that you don't see them eating, but I imagine they might still do it, but I'm not sure. And here, of course, we have our Coelacanthus, another another dinosaur found from Cretaceous, England. I say Cretaceous, I think it's early Cretaceous, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, Coelacanthus. Never a dinosaur that stood out to me an awful lot. I prefer the other Nodosaurids a lot more. One thing I really love doing with the Nodosaurids is just viewing them from above and watching their like cool like plates and stuff shift. But yeah, overall brilliant dinosaur still. Again, not something I use super often, but still a lovely dinosaur, and I'm still happy to use it. That one looks so camouflaged. It looks like a rock, which is really, really cool. And yeah, this is this habitat. I was really tempted to include like a fish-eating dinosaur, like a Baryonyx, you know, but because of course they were from Cretaceous England. In fact, there have been 2 more Spinosaurus discovered in Cretaceous England, being the Venator and the Ceratosucops, both of which are super interesting. Somewhat fragmentary remains, but still very, very interesting to note that there were that many kind of like Spinosaurs. They didn't coexist, of course, they lived some period of time apart from each other, but a lot of Spinosaurs for a single location still. And finally, we have this beautiful lake with our Camarasaurus, a sauropod I again don't use enough. In this game, it's got a really nice upgrade with the pattern. And I really like it. This one just especially looks so cool with the white splotches. They look really good. I wish their eyes weren't so like violently red. They're a bit aggressive for my taste. If they were a bit more tame, I think I would like it a little bit more. Is that their social interaction? Oh, that's beautiful. They kind of clipped to each other there, but that was cute. I don't know if that was the social interaction or not. I guess it was, but yeah, it's beautiful. And they're really lovely dinosaurs, and a small herd of them I think works really well. There we go. I guess that's the social interaction. That's very cute. They're just gonna bump up against each other. Very, very beautiful dinosaurs, and a species that, yeah, again, I don't use enough, and I'm more than happy to include here. And I think as we go forward, I'm gonna make more Jurassic habitats. So I think either this area with the tour, or this area over here is gonna be a big Jurassic habitat with some of the other sauropods. Because of course we do have just plenty of North American sauropods to work with. Diplodocus, Apatosaurus, Brachiosaurus, and Camarasaurus, which is crazy to think that all of these dinosaurs might have coexisted. Like, all these different sauropods, that's crazy. They might not have, of course. They were distributed quite far apart as well, but, you know, if they did, that's an incredible environment to imagine witnessing, you know? Where are there's another species in here, and I'm just trying to find them. There they are. The Dryosaurus, and the Dryosaurus is going to be a bit of an ambient dinosaur. I'm going to have it in multiple habitats. I stuck with some of the more tame patternings. I believe this is either the Rana or like Pulquana, yeah. Oh, that's cute. But yeah, this is actually the tamest patterning you can get for the Dryosaurus. And I think it's pretty cool. And there's 2 different colors, of course, to again emulate like sexual dimorphism. The green and the more coffee color, which I really like. And they're really lovely dinosaurs to just have around, and if I do more Jurassic habitats, they're of course going to be included there. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. As you can see, we've really covered a lot of the park here. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in this area here, maybe a carnivore of some description. But we really haven't done that many carnivores, so I would like to do more carnivores and a few really big carnivores. I'm thinking the Giganotosaurus would be a cool addition. I like this area here because it's got like layers, and I think it'd be cool to maybe do like a pack of Allosaurus or something here, and maybe a few different habitats, and then like some smaller animals maybe around the sides here, because this could fit like, you know, a few small animals here. And then up here just a few more things, some guest areas. I don't know if we could fit another lagoon or aviary. I'm thinking maybe another aviary if we can fit it. Maybe another lagoon too, honestly, because we do still have a few lagoon creatures that I would want to have a look at. Let's see what we have, actually. So we've got the Chronosaurus, Plesiosaurus, and Attenvosaurus. We could theoretically do some Ichthyosaurs and then maybe a Tylosaurus. I don't really like the Tylosaurus that much. It looks a bit weird, but it is the closest we have to a realistic Mosasaur. So maybe we'll do that. So yeah, I'll think about it and we'll see. What about the Pterosaurs? Let's see what else we haven't included yet. So we can of course do Geostenbergia, which is one of my favorites. In fact, it might be my like third favorite. Tapajara, of course, we can do that as well. The only two I really don't necessarily want to include are Pteranodons and the Dimorphodons. Pteranodon, actually, now we have the now we actually have the 1997, or I mean, technically it's supposed to be the 2001 skin. But the thing is, I remember seeing some post about it, and the resolution is kind of low for it, so I might avoid that for now. But yeah, that's the plans for the future, and hopefully we'll get around to that relatively soon. I do start full-time work pretty soon, which is really exciting. I'm really looking forward to starting this new job, but it does mean I'll have a little bit less time to work on videos and stuff, so please do bear with me. I'll still upload as much as I can, but of course it might slow down a little bit. And anyways, yeah, that comes the God, what is my voice doing today? Apologies for that. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope you did enjoy it. Do leave a like, of course, if you did like it. Do subscribe for more Jurassic World Evolution content. I hope you've all had a very happy new year, and I look forward to, the rest of the year doing more of this stuff and just having a blast with it. So yeah, thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!